Coach, welcome. Thanks for a few minutes of your time today. We will begin with Greg Barnes. Greg, go ahead.
Good morning, Jay. Mac talked quite a bit about Virginia Tech's rush offense. Just curious what you're seeing from that group on film.
Yeah. So the first thing is, I think is, Coach Fuente and his staff, they have a really good plan on running the football. They know how to do it. They do a lot of things to create conflict for you in the run game. I think the biggest thing you're seeing, I think their O-line is a year older. They were younger kids a year ago. I think they're a year older. I think they're playing at a high level. And then, the two transfer running backs are really good players. So, you factor that in with, a mindset. They're going to run the quarterback. Obviously, last year that was the biggest issue we had. But they're going to run the quarterback, and they've got three quarterbacks that can all run it really well. All that you combine all that, it makes it a real challenge for you. So, I mean, they're committed to running it. They're really good at it, and we got to find a way to stop it.
Okay, thank you.
Greg, did you pick Boston College to win? I'm just checking.
In the preseason.
Okay.
On Saturday morning before the game,
all right.
I picked.
All right. Somebody told me you did. I'm just checking. That's all. All right.
All right. Let's go to Jacob Turner.
Hey, Jay. Trey Morrison was obviously the defensive player of the game on Saturday. I know you've talked a lot about just how versatile he is across that secondary, but were you at all surprised with how successful he was and how well he played against Boston College? Because, I mean, he just hasn't played a lot of safety at the collegiate level yet.
That's a great question. We've really been practicing him at safety primarily. And then because we kind of feel like he's got a pretty good grasp of the nickel position, and then we got into against Syracuse, we got in the game and just felt like with what was going on, we were better with him at nickel. And so, I give the kid a lot of credit. He has worked his tail off. He spends tons of time, extra time working. And, on Wednesday, he told me he wanted one of like the quarterback, like the wrist flaps, the quarterback said. He said, I want one of those with the call. I said, okay, sure. So we made him one. And before the game, he's like, Coach, I don't even need it. So, he's a great kid. I love Trey Morrison, and I expect him to continue to play really high level.
All right, let's go to CL Brown. CL, go ahead.
Hi, Jay. Coach Brown said, with the way the first two offenses have approached you guys, the run statistics right now might be a little bit skewed, but I wanted to get your opinion on what you guys have been doing successfully, regardless of how many times they may attempt to run against you. What do you feel like is working for you guys in terms of your run defense so far?
Yeah. So, I think going into the Syracuse game, I think that game kind of went the way we thought it would as far as like how they tried to attack us. You can see on film like where people invest their time. And so Syracuse, you could tell like their investment is in drop back pass and play action pass, and the run game is a smaller percentage of their of a really good offense, And so going to that game, we felt really good about, there's a lot of similar runs to what we see, from Phil and those guys in preseason. So we felt really good about that. Boston College was a surprise to me. I really thought we would get, the two tight ends. I thought were both really good players, good blockers, big kids, and the big back. I really thought they would try to run it at us more than they did. And I think that's probably our biggest challenge in the game was processing what was really going on, once we kind of got into the middle of the game. But, I think this. I think in college football, to be really, really good against the run, you have to have really good linebackers because you see so many different run schemes. NFL sees about two schemes. With us, we see a lot of different, pullers and the quarterback runs and the different things that offenses do. So you got to have inside linebackers that can diagnose, and I think we have two kids that are really good at that part of the game. So I think that's where the strength in our run defense lies right now. And then, I think Javon DeWitt's done a great job with our edge kids. I think the edges of our defense are really, really good right now. With Taman and Tyrone and Kamen Rucker and Desmond Evans and Chris Collins, like all five of those kids are playing pretty well. So I think that's where the success with the run game's kind of started.
All right. And I was curious too at corner late in the game after Storm went out. How do you decide like who has instilled enough confidence in you to be able to come out there in a late game situation like that where, Boston College is trying to tie the game?
Yeah, I think all of them have. It's kind of a matter of who practiced the best that week, who was most available that week. I thought Obi did a good job in practice. We put him in. Obviously, Obi's got to learn not to get a pass interference call in 3rd and 32, but he learned it. And so I think all those kids. We're very confident with all those guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, Gregory Hall, go ahead.
Coach, Kamen Rucker was out there for the first play of the game, if I'm not mistaken. I was just wondering what you thought about how he has played through the first 2 games so far.
Yeah, I think Kamen's doing a great job. We need to play him more. I mean, I think that's he's kind of playing in our base 3-4 defense primarily. When we have 4, he's really playing more like a D end than he is an outside linebacker because he's so good at that one position. But he's going to be he already is a really good player. I'm looking forward to seeing him continue. But I think you'll see his reps increase as the season goes on.
What is his energy like in practice? Obviously, he's trying to soak everything in, learn as much as possible. What is he like in practice? He's like a lot of really good young players. He doesn't always know when to practice at the right tempo. So he's the one I'm always yelling at, like, don't throw the scout team guy on the ground. He is he competes every day. He is a really positive kid. I think our guys really like him. I think our older kids have embraced that. They see the plays he makes. He is a kid. He is a very hard worker, very competitive kid, doesn't like to lose. And I think he's bringing a lot to our defense right now. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, Brendan Marks, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, thanks for taking the time. I wanted to go back to the run defense, sort of piggyback off CL's question, but you mentioned the strengths of the inside linebackers and their ability to get downhill in terms of contributing to the stoutness of the run defense. What else would you like to see continue to add to that facet of the defense? And also, does Coach Thigpen change anything the week of practice against an offense that you would expect to be more run heavy versus just a general game week or an opponent where you might be expecting more pass heavy offense?
Yeah. I think Tommy's going to his individual periods and some of those things will change based on the opponents we play. I think the thing that I would like to see to really – I think our run defense has been good. I think to make it even more improved, I honestly think it's the fit of the safeties. I think it's the safeties getting – in college football you got your safeties and your corners sometimes have to be in the run fit. And I feel like our corners have really improved. I think Dre's, Storm Duck and, Patrice Renee and – some of those, even Kyler to the field, but our boundary corners have done a really good job, I think, in the run fit. I think it's the safeties being just a little bit more aggressive at when they need to be, and I think Trey will help with that some too. But Don and Cam Kelly got to be a little bit better run fitters, and I think that's going to be our challenge this week.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, last one, Ross Martin, go ahead.
Save the best for last.
You got it.
I was going to say that, Jay. Hope you're having a great morning. I asked your colleague, Phil Longo, the same question kind of about rotation. What's your plan in kind of rotating players in and what you would like in an ideal game or kind of how that changes based on the game and who you want to rest versus obviously playing the best players at the right time?
It's a great question. So we go in the game with kind of a target, like we anticipate playing X amount of snaps. I think last year at Virginia Tech, this is where I did a really poor job. We kind of got into the game and kind of got away from our rotation a little bit because the way the game was going, and I think we ran out. Obviously 6 overtimes, but we ran out of gas. I thought at the end. I thought at the end, Jason Strobridge, who was an absolute warrior in that game. I mean, came out with an ankle, went back in. I thought he had played too many snaps. So, we've got some young guys that we are targeting, like with Miles Murphy and Desmond Evans. Like every week, we're going to try to get them a few more reps. But we're saying, hey, look, we want to get them 8 to 10 to 12 to whatever the number is, 5, and put them in, and they're going to get better by playing, and then try to put them in situations where they can go be successful with the call that's with what we're seeing out of the offense and the calls we're making. So,
there's part of it. Obviously, some positions rotate more than others. Kyrie Jackson and Eugene Asante, you guys have heard me say this, are really good players. It's just hard to rotate 44 and 21 out. So we got to we're constantly trying to find ways to play those guys more. It's just hard with the offenses that we see, to play a bunch of linebackers. So we kind of go in the game with a target number from most guys. And then, what we always try to do, Ross, is depending on where the ball is, so if it's a sudden change or if they do start to move the ball on us, right, then at that point we start to go with, our more veteran guys. Obviously, end of a half, end of the game, we try to go with your most veteran guys, the guys that are playing the best at that point, and try to win the game.
Is there a focus? Like, obviously you want to kind of, like you said, kind of rest these guys. I mean, like, is that second quarter you maybe want to rest them more, or third quarter? Is there any, I kind of touched on it a little bit, but the approach to getting some of your more veteran, better players rest at certain times in the game?
Yeah. So I think there's two things, right? I think we try to manage how the game's going a little bit. So what I always I talk a lot with and it's really with Coach Cross and Coach DeWitt, with Javon and Tim about, with TV timeouts now, you can really stretch the rest. All right. So if our offense has a pretty good long drive, let's say, an 8-9 play drive, and they score, like with the TV timeouts involved in that, like if at that point we can put, a young guy in for 3 or 4 plays, like we talk to our young guys about, look, like, bro, get us to third down. Like if you can win on first and second down and get us to third down where we can get our third down blitzes and packages in, then we've stolen a whole series sometimes. Like we against Boston College, we did that twice, right? We put Miles and Desmond in and got to our third down package and got off the field where, Tyron Hopper got an entire series off. So if you can do that, Jaleel Taylor went in there and we got Tamari Fox, one whole series off. Like if we can do that, then you really have bought your kids, a good break. And then now they're really fresh. So that's part of our mindset, right? But to counter that, Coach Brown reminds me all the time, is like, you got to play good team football, right? So if we score, we got a chance to go, get a 3 and out, then there's that factor in it too. So we're managing the game. We're managing, the time, how many reps they played, how many reps we think we're going to play. Like Boston College, we knew they weren't going to play many reps, right? They were going to huddle. They were going to snap in under 10. We knew it was probably going to be a 60 to 70 snap game. Then they, at least that's what I thought going in, and they threw it 59 times. But, that was kind of our thought going in, was that we maybe didn't have to manage as much because of the pace of the game.
Great. Adam Smith is on this call and hasn't asked a question in the whole year too.
Do what now?
Adam Smith is on this call and hasn't asked a question the whole time.
That's embarrassing. Adam Smith's just on a busman's holiday, as they say. So
there you go.
I'm right here listening.
There you are. Thanks, Coach, for your time.
Yes,
We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.